In March 2025, Canada removed job offer points for express entry overnight. 50 points disappeared. For senior managers, 200 points disappeared, and more than 37,000 people saw their scores drop instantly. If someone is telling you in 2026 that a job offer will boost your CRS score, they are wrong and they are lying. And if you base your strategy on that advice, you could lose your chance at permanent residency. I'm Evelyn Ackah, a Canadian immigration lawyer with over 25 years of experience helping clients just like you. And today, I'm walking you through what changed, what still counts, and how to protect yourself from the misinformation and scams that are costing people thousands of dollars. Because the rules changed and many people are still playing by the old ones. The rule that changed everything. Here is something most people do not know. In March 2025, Canada completely removed job offer points from express entry. Gone. If you had an LMIA-backed job offer before that change, you received 50 extra CRS points. If it was a senior management role, you received 200 points. Now you get zero. 0 points for a job offer, and that single policy change dropped the CRS scores of over 37,000 express entry candidates overnight. So if someone is telling you right now that a job offer will boost your CRS score, in 2026, they're either uninformed or they're trying to sell you something. Either way, that kind of bad advice could cost you your shot at permanent residency. Now, does that mean a job offer is completely useless for express entry? No. A valid job offer still matters for eligibility under certain programs like the Federal Skilled Worker Stream, but it no longer gives you bonus points on your comprehensive ranking system score. And that distinction between eligibility and points is where people are getting confused, making mistakes, and in some cases getting scammed out of thousands of dollars. Let me explain exactly what still counts, what does not, and how to protect yourself. What actually counts as a valid job offer? Even though job offer points are gone, immigration officers still evaluate whether your job offer is legitimate and genuine. And if it is not legitimate, it will not just fail to help you, it can actively destroy your application. To be considered valid for express entry, your job offer must be full-time, non-seasonal for at least 1 year, and it must fall under tier 0, 1, 2, or 3 in the National Occupation Classification, meaning it has to be a skilled position. And here's the part that trips people up. Unless you are already working in Canada on a work permit tied to that specific employer, your employer needs a positive LMIA, a labor market impact assessment from the government. That LMIA is not optional. Without it, your offer is worth nothing to IRCC. Nothing. It does not matter how official the letter looks. It does not matter if it is on fancy letterhead with a logo and a signature. If there's no LMIA behind it and you are not LMIA exempt, through something like an intercompany transfer or a trade agreement, immigration officers will see right through it. And they are trained to look. They check for a formal written offer on company letterhead with your job title, duties, salary, hours, and start date. They verify the LMIA. They cross-reference employer records. If anything does not match, your application gets flagged. And once it is flagged, you are not just delayed, you could be refused. The fake LMIA scam crisis. Now let's talk about what is really happening out there, because this is the part that should worry you. Canada is in the middle of a full-blown fake LMIA scam epidemic. CBC investigations found fake job offers being sold on Facebook Marketplace and Kijiji for anywhere from $25,000 to $45,000. Scammers are stealing real company logos, creating fake letterheads, setting up fake email addresses, and producing documents that look completely legitimate. And nearly half of all newcomers to Canada have encountered some form of job scam or fraud. That is not a small number. That is a crisis. Here's how to spot it. If an employer asks you to pay for any amount at all for a job offer or an LMIA for processing, that is a scam. Full stop. Under Canadian law, LMIA costs are the employer's responsibility. The fee is the $1,000 per position, and the employer must pay that. If they're asking you to cover that or to pay an administration fee or processing deposit, walk away immediately. Other red flags include never having had an interview, never having spoken to anyone real at the company. The offer seems too good to be true, like a high-paying skilled position, and all you had to do was respond to a message. The communication comes from a Gmail or Yahoo address instead of a corporate email address. The job description is vague or generic. And when you ask about the LMIA, they dodge the question or say they know someone who can handle it for you. I've worked with families who've lost over $5,000 to these scams before they realized what happened. One family had a letter with the real company's logo on it, but when we contacted that company, they had never heard of these people that they supposedly had hired. The scammers had pulled the logo off the internet and fabricated everything. But here's the part that really needs to be able to sink in. Even if you did not know the documents were fake, even if you were a victim, submitting fraudulent documents to IRCC can result in a finding of misrepresentation. And that means a 5-year ban from applying for any Canadian immigration program. 5 years. Your entire immigration future is gone because of someone else's fraud that you unknowingly submitted. That is why verification is not optional. It is survival. How to protect yourself and what to do now. So, what do you do? What do you do now? First, you verify your employer. You look them up in the Canadian Business Registry. You call their main office directly, not the number on the offer letter, but the number you find independently online. You confirm the person offering you the job actually works there. Check the ESDC employer compliance list. If they have had LMIA violations before, that is public record. Second, if you are relying on a job offer for your express entry eligibility, consult a licensed Canadian immigration lawyer before you submit anything. Not after, before. It is far cheaper to verify upfront than to deal with a refusal or misrepresentation finding later. Third, save everything, every email, every document, every WhatsApp message. If something feels off and documentation becomes your evidence, you can use that documentation. And fourth, report the scams. If you've been targeted, report it to the Canadian Anti-Fraud Centre. You might save someone else from the same trap. Now, since Canada removed job offer CRS points, the number one question I get is how do I increase my CRS score without a job offer? The biggest opportunity right now is the provincial nominee program, which adds 600 CRS scores and virtually guarantees an invitation. Beyond that, improving language test scores, getting a second official language like learning French, and gaining additional Canadian work experience are your strongest plays in 2026. What's next? We have covered what actually counts as a valid job offer after the 2025 Express Entry changes, how to recognize a fake LMIA scam, and what the real consequences are if you get this wrong. But here is the thing. Even when with a legitimate job offer and a clean application, there are specific red flags that trigger refusals every single day. And most applicants do not even know that they're making these mistakes until it is too late. That is exactly what I'm breaking down in the next video. The top red flag that trigger express entry refusals. Because one small oversight in your application can undo everything you have worked for. I will see you there.